Hello again, algebra students. We're going to spend another day talking about writing equations in point-slope form. So in our last lesson, we took a point, we labeled that x sub 1 and y sub 1, and a slope, and that's our m, and we just put those three numbers into the right place in our equation. Today, we're going to continue doing that, but we're also going to have some different information. So this slide you already saw in the last lesson. We've got our point slope form, the x sub 1 and the y sub 1. Those are the points, that's the numbers from the ordered pair that we're going to use, and the m is the slope. This is point slope form. That's something that you're going to want to practice writing so that you just have it in your brain. I'm not saying you have to take the time to memorize it, but if you write it several times, you will know that one. So this is like the last lesson. If I give you a point and a slope, and in fact, they're the same problems from the last lesson, so we should be able to do these pretty quickly. One more time, point slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Remember the x sub 1 and the y sub 1, that's from the ordered pair. So that's the x number and the y number in the ordered pair, and then the m is the slope. So in number 1, I'm going to have y minus my y number is the 1. Remember, this is the x sub 1, this is the y sub 1, equals m, which is negative 3, and then x minus the x number, which is negative 2. The only thing that I would expect you to do here is to do a keep, change, right? We don't want minus negative there. But that's written in point slope form. Done. For number 2, I'm going to do the same thing. So y minus my y number is 5 equals m times x minus the x number, right? If you need to, feel free to go ahead and keep labeling these with the x sub 1 and the y sub 1, but you probably won't have to after you've done this several times. This one has a whole bunch of negatives. So I'll have y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. And again, I would want to do a keep, change here, but you wouldn't have to necessarily rewrite that to just say y plus 2 equals negative 1, and then in parentheses x plus 1. I'm fine with it looking the way it is there. So here's the new stuff for today. Instead of just telling you the slope, I'm going to give you 2 points. You have to find the slope, and then we're going to use that to write our equation in point slope form. Really, you can use either ordered pair when we write our equations in point slope form. The worksheet that you're going to do today is going to say use the first ordered pair. So we're just going to do that here, but I'll show you later that it really doesn't matter which ones you pick. To find the slope, remember, that's where we do y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. You're going to notice a lot of things that are similar between the slope formula and point slope. In my ordered pairs, again, I'll do one of these where I label everything. So I've got my x's and my y's and my 1's and my 2's, and then I'm going to find my slope. So my y sub 2 is negative 2. My y sub 1 is 2. X sub 2 is 1, and x sub 1 is 3. So on the top, I'm going to get a negative 4, and on the bottom, I'm going to get a negative 2. A negative 4 divided by negative 2 is 2. So now I know my slope, and I know 2 ordered pairs. I can pick either one. Again, I'm going to say, for now, let's just stick with that first ordered pair. So I have my x sub 1 and my y sub 1 and my m. This slope is review, and that's the only extra thing that you have to do today. So we're going to have y minus my y number, which is that 2 right there, equals m, which we just found, and then x minus my x number. In the second example, finding my slope, by now you guys have heard me say this several times, I don't tend to label all of the x's and y's and 1's and 2's. I like this better, but they work the exact same way. It's just less writing. So if I would do my y sub 2, which in this case is going to be the negative 1 minus the other y, which is 2. Notice I connected those two on the top because the y is on top. And then on the bottom, if I started here with the -1, I would have to start here with the 4, and I'm going to go 4 minus 1. So on the top, I have -3. On the bottom, I have +3. That's going to give me a -1 slope. Now, I'm going to pick, again, this first order pair. So I'll have y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. We just have more examples just like those. We just need to practice. Slope isn't new. Now we're good with point slope form. You just need to just crunch through a bunch of these to just try them out. So my slope, -1 minus -3. On the bottom, 2 minus -2. So we'll do a keep, change. That gives me 2 on the top, 4 on the bottom. That would simplify to 1/2. And remember, slope is typically fractions. We're good with fractions for slope. Sticking with that first ordered pair, I would have y minus my y number, which is -3, equals m, 1/2, and then in parentheses, x minus my x number. And again, I would do a keep, change just to kind of clean that up a little bit. On the fourth example, slope. So I'm going to have -1 minus 1 on the top, and on the bottom, since I started with the ordered pair that's on the right, I'm going to have 4 minus -4. So we'll do a keep, change. On the top, I get -2. On the bottom, I get 8. That simplifies to -1/4. And then we pick an ordered pair. Y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. Keep, change. Okay, almost done. I'd like to do these last 2 examples, and hopefully you're feeling pretty good right now. If you feel like you get this, you may want to just pause the video, try these on your own, and then go ahead and look at the answers that I get. So my slope, -9 minus -3 over -1 minus 1. I'm going to get -6 over -2, which is +3. And then y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. And for the last one, slope. 0 minus 2 over 2 minus 1. So I get -2 over 1, which is just -2. We always want to simplify our slopes. And then we're going to pick this ordered pair and say y minus the y number equals m times x minus the x number. That's how we write the equations when we're given 2 points. So the worksheet that you have today is actually the back side of the last worksheet that you did. So we took off number 20. It was kind of a messy problem that starts with number 11 because the front side only went to number 10. So 11 through 19 are your problems today. The answer key, as always, is in Schoology. And when you're all done checking your answers, make sure that you take the formative. If you have any questions, let me know.